Hello everybody and welcome back to LMM, and if you're enjoying what you're seeing on the channel at the moment, how about giving this video a like and maybe subscribing to the channel to help us grow, and perhaps even check out our Patreon. Today we're here at Doncaster for the Festival of British Railway Modelling, which is a 2-day model railway event, and it's the one that really kick-starts the season. And I'm here with my friends on the LCut stand. Now LCut do this wonderful variety of laser cut wooden kits, and most of them, like these ones, are modular, so you can make them bigger, smaller, and however you want them. They also make some lovely single boxes with complete lever frames, which are pretty awesome. So, roll the clips, because this episode is sponsored by these guys. And then we're going to have a look around the show, and also I'm going to attempt to build some kits, because I'm pretty sure that I could get through a number of these kits, because they're remarkably easy to put together.
So you're diving into the world of model railways. You've got your locomotives, you've got your rolling stock, and you've got your track. But you're missing something rather important, something to transform your void of existence of a baseboard into a model railway. And that's where LCut have you covered with their range of easy to build laser cut kits, featuring high detail, easy to assemble, and of course they're modular, meaning you can put them together to build them to your exact specifications. They build kits for O, OO, TT and N, meaning they'll be right at home on anybody's layout. Go check out the website by following the link in the video description and see the range for yourself. All kits come unassembled and unpainted for you to do yourself, which is exactly what I thought I'd have a bash at, because how hard can it be? I started off by removing the parts from the sprue and tidying them up. Although this proved not to be too interesting for my colleagues, who decided to go out and check out the show.
Where's the brake van?
We haven't got any, you've picked them up.
I saw them, it's nice there.
I asked the guy if it was scale, and it's just about scale.
Meanwhile, I was making good progress under the watchful eye of Jakob.
So, yep. That's perfect, that is. Look at that.
That's fine. If you move over a little bit.
Or maybe not.
I've been here for 30 seconds until I'm not allowed to do it.
You've been here 3 hours and I just started.
Realising that the progress was going to be slow, the lads decided to go off and have a proper look at some of the layouts. Starting off with Hartshill Bank, a modern image layout set in N with 2 main lines and a host of action with trains running frequently up and down.
cameraman, put your finger on the other hand and see how yes,
Up next was Exebridge in 3mm scale, which is like the correct version of TT, modelled somewhere in Devon on the BR Western region in the early days of British Railway diesels. It features highlights like a viaduct at the far end and plenty going on. Meanwhile, on the LCut stand, I was getting to the swing of cutting things up the sprue.
As I say, if you struggle with the platform bits, I'll put those outputs for you.
Thanks, Dad.
You'll be fine.
You manage.
The thing I really don't want to do is cut myself badly at the show.
That'll be a really good start to the weekend. The man on the LCut stand has sliced his finger off.
Building the kit.
By the way, you are on the health and safety form just in case.
So, full disclosure, because I'm on this stand and doing cutting things, they've had to do an extra risk assessment, and there's a whole page dedicated to me cutting stuff.
Hazard, Lawrie.
I'm a hazard.
Deeming me too much of a hazard to be around, the lads headed off once again into the exhibition hall, this time coming across the 00 gauge layout Euxton Junction, which models part of the West Coast Main Line with 4 different tracks. 2 up, 2 down, 1 fast, 1 slow, meaning there is so much going on with trains passing on the layout and always something moving. It's also a really good size, so you get a sense of scale of the trains as they trundle through the countryside. Staying with both 00 and the West Coast Main Line, the next layout was Hills of the North, modelling the infamous 1 in 75 climb of Shap. It takes 3 real-life locations and blends them seamlessly into one continuous 35-foot long layout. And the most impressive thing is that gradient is really there, with some of the trains having to be banked up the long incline. It's something that you don't often get to see, trains being banked in the 00 scale, and it was just fascinating to watch. And here we see one of the banking locomotives making its way light engine back down the gradient, ready to assist another train up the long hard slog. Meanwhile, Charles had returned to give me some moral support.
To demonstrate how simple these are to build, here's an idiot.
That's just the way it is, that's just the nature of it. And, you know,
He's not fighting back because he knows I'm not wrong.
I mean, I've been doing this for 10 years and I'm not that great with it anyways.
Having had enough of his support, I banished him into the exhibition hall, where he saw a layout that we featured before. This layout was 12 years in the making. Set somewhere in the 1980s to the 1990s, it depicts a busy main line somewhere in England, where it reduces from 4 to 2 tracks as it crosses a viaduct. And just behind the viaduct, there is a coal loading yard with a working coal loader, which I think is so very cool. There's always plenty going on with stuff moving up top and shunting going on below.
It's the blue car and the red car out of the race. Good weather, great.
Is that the Milky Way advert? That's it.
It's Marlow Blue Eater, Milky Way.
Makes
Should we
such
put
an
the hand on there? shall
That
we?
makes such an awesome sound.
What, 37? Oh yeah, I believe. I don't think the Acura scale ones are as good though. Yeah. It's the only unit after one which is delivered itself. It's quite controllable to do it now. The old 3.5 quite controllable. Just get it on. Yeah. Get the engine in, it won't move. The voltage to get voltage to kick in. Got to sit there, idle, DC. Tweak it. All the V-tags on track. They're all on the standards where everything on the left. They'll side it, right? The off-band about 40 side. So it's really nice. Yeah, I'm the same. I've got sound. At least two of each class, sound and the rest of the heat. Anything happening.
Moving from 00 to the correct scale of EM was Navigation Road, with diesels and rail cars moving about in the British Railway Corporate Blue era. Meanwhile, I'd finally got to actually assembling my model, which meant getting the glue out and trying to get the pieces to actually stick together, which proved to be more challenging than I initially thought.
I put something together.
It is 4 o'clock nearly.
It should go out, so you
I have
to
not
just-
put enough glue on this.
Oh, you did put way too much.
I put too much.
To aid the drying and bonding process, we decided to put a couple of weights on it to hold it in place while it's set.
Teamwork.
And whilst I waited for my platform walls to set, I was able to have a quick look around the exhibition, including Abbotsford in Engage.
Have you got a shot of the name?
I even got to have a look at one of my favourite things, and that's the live steam 00 engines that was made by Hornby in the early 2000s. I think these things are fascinating. Real working steam engines running on the tiny gauge, and I think it's such a huge shame that it was discontinued. These things truly are proper mechanical marvels. They even had one on display totally naked, so you could see the inside workings of the machine, which was fascinating when you had the working examples running past it. It made you appreciate them a lot more. Sadly though, soon it was time to return to LCut and see how the glue was getting on.
We're using a couple of weights just to hold everything down with the glue. And I put the ruler onto this one, and so hopefully it will have now. It worked. So far today, I've successfully built 2 sides of a platform.
Leaving me to enjoy my success, the chaps went back out into the exhibition hall, and this time they found Crompton Road, an O-gauge layout loosely based in the north of England towards the end of the British Rail period.
Where you going? Straight down? That is changing.
Staying with O-Gauge but going back in time to the post-grouping period somewhere in the Yeovil area where the Southern and the Great Western Railways ran together is Newchapel Junction, which recreates the operation of a busy railway in its heyday, with frequent arrivals and departure from the main station. What I particularly like about this layout is that it has the best of both worlds, a station where complex shunting can be undertaken and the locomotives swapped over, and a main line where engines can run round at a scale speed and get a chance to stretch their legs.
using the rule of I didn't know that actually happened. I didn't know whether it was yesterday or you were or whether you were going to rule one, it's my railway, I'll run what I like. I did not realise that Western Railway actually wants something to stop.
Meanwhile, I was gluing more bits together.
So how's it going?
Shush, I'm at a crucial part of it where I'm... Oh no, that's not stuck right.
2-foot gauge and 7 mil.
No, why is this...
Okay, so
No, oh.
essentially narrow gauge in O.
I built a platform.
Lawrie,
It's taken... What?
So the joint there.
That's fine.
Yeah, you can turn this around so it's... There you go, that's better. There you go.
But Dad, I was doing just fine.
You know, places like that.
Leaving me with the complex task of trying to get the top of my platform the right way round, the guys went off and found one of the first instances of Hornby's new TT120 in use. Now, I haven't actually seen any other layout in this scale out in the wild, so it was really exciting to actually get to see this. However, it did showcase the limitations of the range right now, with only a few locomotives and items of stock actually available.
Follow the coastline. But and he knew that long term, maybe not for the best.
It looks alien, and then when you actually go around the country, it's,
Yeah, but if you put that PAV on it, it takes it down.
yeah.
So, are you worth a special offer?
Direct to Lawrie Manor. There is an alternative line. And so we just went that sort of route to go on the beach.
That's a line I've been on this. I've been on.
Returning to the traditional 00 was Copper Wort, an outstandingly detailed layout based on a hexagonal baseboard with a continuous round and round with lots of shunting and sidings all about it, which means that most of the stock in the locomotives are on public view all the time. It's very, very clever, and again, the amount of detail is just outstanding. And it's nice to see a layout that's really designed just for these little engines to move around and to be lost in between the houses and the different buildings. It's just, this one really has to be seen to be fully appreciated.
I don't know why people choose them small computers.
Because
I love it. I'll just go and...
It's there, and it's just sort of like it fits the area.
Copied it off, is it Leicester North or North
Yeah,
Leicester?
from Shipley.
Yeah, Shipley Club.
Yeah.
That's where I copied it.
It was a fantastic idea, that. Yeah.
Back on the LCut stand, I was finally starting to make some progress.
Yeah, I can't even do that very well. That's equally as difficult, to be honest. Oh, that's okay. That's one bit fixed, and I just got to fix the other bit. Sorry, you turned up at a moment where everything's crucial.
Ignoring my struggles, the guys had come across Monchester, which started life in 1972 on a 5 by 3 foot baseboard, and now it's grown to be significantly bigger. The layout is set in a northern town and depicts the late steam and early BR diesel period, with the majority of the structures being based on actual buildings within Newcastle upon Tyne. With 3 different levels, there's always a flurry of activity, making it very enjoyable to watch.
Oh, there's lots going on here, isn't there? That's got to go into that tunnel. That one's going into that tunnel. It will pop on that side.
Well, I still remember the first Delta fire machine. The rugby station and the noise.
So first impression,
Very therapeutic.
You have to go that tunnel now.
Moving up a scale and back to 00 was Spilsby, set in a rural market town in a predominantly agricultural area of Lincolnshire, set in the days of the Great Northern Railway before the grouping. And as such, there is a lack of ready-to-run locomotives available for this, so the majority of the locomotives in stock are scratch-built. By this point, I'd finished building my platform and was excited to show Jakob, who took one look at it, sighed, and immediately got himself out a kit to start building his own version, which would be better. And in a worryingly short amount of time, he'd built a bigger and better platform. It had taken me 1.5 days, whereas it took him maybe 30 minutes. He'd done a far better job, it looked neater, was more tidy, and basically put mine to shame. So feeling very dejected, I headed out to enjoy the last few hours of the show, turning up here looking at Rolvenden in P4 scale, which is modelled on the Kent and East Sussex Railway. One of the features that I really enjoyed was the fact that this had working level crossing gates, and I really like the extra level of immersion that it brings when they close and then reopen.
Showing off for a bit. Not my type, sorry.
The final layout in this video is Scarlington in N-scale, with the distinctive atmosphere of the northeast England in the 1970s and 80s captured in a miniature setting, featuring a very impressive bridge that runs across the middle of the layout. Being on a main line as well, there's plenty going on.
That the show will close in 30 minutes. The last bus to the railway station will depart approximately 5:15. We would like to thank you for visiting our event today, and we hope you've had an enjoyable day. We'd also like to take this opportunity. We would like to thank you for visiting our event today, and we hope you've had an enjoyable day. We'd also like to take this opportunity to thank our sponsors, TMC and the Doncaster Model Railway Club, for their support in this event. Thank you. TMC and the Doncaster Model Railway Club for their support in this event. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for visiting our event today, and we hope you've had an enjoyable day. We'd also like to take this opportunity to thank our sponsors, TMC and the Doncaster Model Railway Club, for their support in this event. Thank you.
No.
Freelance, but it's based around, you know,
Yeah.
some of the buildings are based on real buildings. They'll be built.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll give you that in a minute.
Full stairs.
Abigail, sit up. Yeah, that's a video of that.
And for me, it just wouldn't be a model railway show unless I got the opportunity to operate on one of the layouts. And so on the upper portion, in the industrial setting of Scarlington, I was handed the controller and told to get on with it with a Class 68.
Yeah, I went to go find him, but by the time I got to find him, they'd taken like half of the train, so...
have gone to be worked on, one of them is knackered.
I also popped into my friends over at KR Models to see a couple of their decorated samples of upcoming models, including the Leader and the 4DD. Both things I'm particularly excited about. And of course, there was more versions of the famous GT3, wearing the fictional LMS livery, BR Green and the really tasty BR Black. And this was looking very smart. This is the locomotive designed to work with the torpedoes they've got coming out later in the year.
And with that, that brings us to the end of the day here at Doncaster. And it's been very, very enjoyable. And a massive great thank you to each and every one of you who's come up and said hello, especially those of you who have bought me gifts. And as you can see, I, with some assistance, have managed to construct 2 whole platforms. And the most important thing about building these kits is to make sure that you keep a clean working environment. Just like that. That keeps everything sorted, out of the way and controlled. So thank you all very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed looking at this show. I hope you've enjoyed seeing the layouts, because you've probably seen more than I have. I'm going to enjoy watching this in the edit, because I've seen absolutely none of it, because I've been here attempting to build this and meeting you lovely lot. So a massive great thank you to LCut as well for inviting us along and having me bringing down their reputation by being stuck on the edge of their stand. I've absolutely loved building these things, highly recommend them yourself. And with that, check out their website, there's a link in the video description. And how about clicking somewhere over there for last year's show, or somewhere over there for, I don't know, another model railway show. With that, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. I'm going to take this, and this wheel build one, and this one that's rubbish, and go home. And there's probably another nice, some other boxes I'm just going to borrow from the stand, like they won't notice.